Hi guys, I want to apologize that I'm not in school today, but I knew ahead of time that I wasn't going to be here, so I decided to record this video so that I could still be teaching you and going over the things that you need to be doing today. So I have a lot of different things to go over and to pull up, and I want to talk about what should be turned in today and that you might need to be working on if you have not completed it. So first of all, Monday started Module 12, and I need you to take a look at the Module 12 assignments. Okay, so you should have turned in on Teams, and there is a typo here. It says page 201, but it's page 204, and that's based on the poems, The World is Not a Pleasant Place to Be, and To You, which are actually on pages 202 and 203. I want to remind you that I told you they had to be typed. They need to be in a Word document and attached to the assignment. I am not going to have the sub collect sheets of paper. And if you take a picture, there's a good chance I can't read it. I told you last week it needed to be typed, and I believe it's in the directions. So please make sure that you've done it the correct way. We need to start practicing that. All right, 12.2 is the Interpreting Poetic Devices packet. And this packet we started working on together when we had read the poems in class. We did the first poem together. So the packet is the one that looks like this. And on the front side, we did The Pasture together. And then last week in class, on the back side, we did The World is Not a Pleasant Place to Be together. And then you have two more to do. On the front side of the first page, this one is for A Time to Talk. And then the back side of that one, this one is for To You. Now, this packet should be done. If you have looked through, if you pull out this packet and it is not done, then when it's time for you to start working during class time today, then this is the first thing that you are going to do. I want to point out in Teams, you have this assignment. It's called 12.2 Interpreting Poetic Devices. This is the one that I'm saying is due today. Inside here, you have the 3 videos. So we already did this first one together. If you have not done them, these videos are here for you. I help you a lot. I take you through step by step. If you need to borrow earbuds to complete those in class today, please make sure that they get done. If you've lost your packet, I don't really have any extras. Instead, what you need to do is go down here where it says student work, and you're going to have to do it on either digitally or print it off. You are able to edit this and turn it in. Now, no matter how you completed it, it needs to be turned in on Teams. You're going to keep this packet because you're going to need it for this next step of what we're doing with poetry, and we're going to go over that in today's lesson today. So if you hand wrote it, I need you to take pictures and turn it in. It is a completion grade. So make sure that you have it completed and turned in. And if we go back to, you've got these papers all over the place. We go back to Module 12 and we look at 12.3, Essay Outline. That is what you are starting today, and it's due on Monday. So we're going to complete an essay outline, but first of all, you have to find out what that essay is. And that is today's assignment. At this point, I'm going to ask the substitute to please pass out the directions for the essay. So it's a paper that looks like this. And while she's passing that out, I just want to talk about the heading a little bit, or he, I don't know who my sub is. So at the top of every single paper that I give you, you see these 4 things: name, period, date, and then this is the assignment. You should also be including this information on every paper that you give me. I've gotten a lot of assignments from you guys that only include your first name, and I don't know what it goes to. It's very important that you include both your first and your last name, period in your cohort, so 2-2 or 3-2, the date, and then always put the assignment. So if you're turning in book work, I need to know what page it is. It's extremely important. Otherwise, if you haven't restated the question into your answers aren't well done. Sometimes I have no idea what I'm even trying to grade. All right, if you're not ready, make sure that you pause the video and then come back. We're going to go over the directions for this essay. This is the first essay that you are writing for me in 7th grade. This is really late. Normally you would have written at least 1, if not 2 essays already. So keep that in mind. This is probably the only 5-paragraph essay that I will make you write this year. You need to put a lot of effort into it and make sure that you do a good job. And we're keeping in mind 7th grade work. Some of those written answers that I've seen from bookwork, I'd be lucky to call it 5th grade work. You guys are capable of better. I just need you to put that effort forward. Okay, let's take a look at the directions. It says to read over the poems that we read and studied as a class. Choose one that stands out to you. Which one sparks an idea or reminds you of something? Which has the most interesting sound devices or imagery? You will need to write a 5-paragraph essay which gives an interpretation of the poem's meaning and includes elements from the poem to support its theme. Follow the steps below to write your essay. So first of all, you're picking one poem to write about. If that packet is complete on the poetic devices, we have gone through 4 poems. The Pasture, A Time to Talk, The World is Not a Pleasant Place to Be, and To You. Now, we also read Jabberwocky and Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout. Now, if you really feel compelled that you want to write your essay about one of those 2 poems, you can. But you are then responsible of going through the poems to find those devices on your own because they are required to be in the essay. All right, so the steps below. Step 1 is to review your poetic devices worksheets and choose one poem to focus on. Use this to help you to complete the outline and write your essay. So if that's done, you've taken pictures and turned it in, and you're keeping it because it's going to help you with the outline that we're going to go over in class today. Step 2 is to complete the outline for the interpretive essay. Once I've gone through these directions, I'm going to go through that with you, and then I expect you to get started on that today if you're done with the other packet. Your outline is due on Monday. Step 3 is to write a draft. So you take everything from your outline that may not have been complete sentences and turn it into sentences and paragraphs. Include all of the observations and examples you gathered that help make the poem effective. Make sure to organize the essay. Use your introductory paragraph to identify the poem and what you believe to be the theme. For the body of your essay, decide which idea you want to present first. Then use examples and evidence from the text to support your main points. Conclude with a summary of the meaning and theme of the poem. You should be working on your draft next week. So before I see you in class next Thursday, the outline should be done and your rough draft should be written. Now in class next week, we're going to take a look at some model essays, but if you want to look at those, take a peek at them ahead of time to help you get an idea of how to organize or to put your essay together, they are in the module folder. You can take a look at them. The first 3 steps are what we're going to complete in module 12. Then as we start module 13, we'll get into the other steps. So step 4, you're going to use the formative checklist to help you revise your essay. I'm going to take you through some task cards and give you a checklist to go down in order to make changes and to improve your essay. Step 5 is to edit and proofread your draft. And then obviously the final copy would be, or the final step would be your final copy. And those will be due in module 13. Now I want to point out that the last day of module 13 is the last day of the quarter. So there is absolutely no wiggle room for late work with this assignment. You've got to stay with me on these steps. So I'm going to repeat one more time. You got to finish the poetic devices. You're going to write your outline today in class, hopefully. If not, it's due by Monday. And then you're writing your rough draft next week, and it is due when I see you in class on Thursday. All right, let's take a look at the outline. So the next step, I would like the substitute to please pass out the outline. So I will pull it up on the screen. and it looks like this. When you get yours, please make sure that you do complete the heading. Make sure that you have your first and your last name on your paper. Period, either 2-2 or 3-2, depending on your class, but you guys are cohort 2. And then today's date. Today is the 11th. Last week I kept trying to make it the 11th. So 3/11/2021. When you're ready, or if you're not ready, hit pause, play when you're ready to go over this. All right, so what I want to point out, along the side, you have Roman numerals. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the front and number 5 on the back. Those are your paragraphs. You are outlining each of your paragraphs. So let's take a look at your introductory paragraph. This first part is basically going to be like your topic sentence, where we see the topic or the theme of title of poem by the author. So first of all, decide which poem is it that you're going to write about. Make sure that you put the title of the poem and the author there. Don't forget that titles of poems go in quotation marks. The topic or the theme, this is how you are going to explain it. I'd love for you to use that message or theme that was on the bottom of the page of the worksheet and your interpreting poetic devices. Then your purpose of your essay is to be able to prove and explain that that's what this poem is about, or that's what this poem means, okay? These 3 below it are kind of tricky. And really what makes them tricky is just the words that I put there. I thought about changing it, but I really don't know how to put it differently. So in your essay, you need to be able to explain what the poem means. That's your interpretation. You're telling me the meaning of the poem is. Inference is you're thinking about it. Explanation is you explaining it. But really all 3 of these are interchangeable. I just want to have the information in the introductory paragraph. So what is it in your introduction that you want to make sure is the point of your essay that you're going to be explaining throughout your other paragraphs? So that's what this is here. These don't have to be complete sentences. These are your ideas right now. Eventually, when you do your rough draft, though, you do need complete sentences. All right, so when we see 2, 3, 4, these are your body paragraphs. They're set up very similarly, but it's kind of open-ended the way that I have it here. So you see reason detail 1, reason detail 2, reason detail 3. You need to decide how you want to organize your essay. You might choose to go through line by line of the poem, explaining it. So maybe reason detail 1 is going to be stanza 1. Let's say I'm doing the world is not a pleasant place to be. Maybe I'm gonna have stanza 1 and 4 together because they're so similar. And then reason detail 2 would be stanza 2. Reason detail 3 would be stanza 3. You know, if I'm explaining it in order. You don't have to do it that way. That's one way to set it up. Maybe you are gonna look at that chart that you have, and your reason detail 1 is gonna be sound devices. And then reason detail 2 might be punctuation. Reason detail 3 might be imagery. You know, it's up to you how you want to explain and interpret this poem. Each of them have the same 3 parts kind of outlined in the body of the paragraph, but even that. So when we see A, sound device, figurative language, repetition, capitalization, punctuation, you don't need all of that in every body paragraph. You need one of them. And I just want you to realize that you've got to have one of those examples in the essay, okay, or in that paragraph, and then a different one in the next paragraph, okay? You need to be able to tell what it represents, what it means, or explain it, and then this interpretation, inference, explanation connected back to the theme. So I'm saying that this is the message of the poem. This is how this sound device connects back, why it means that, okay? That's the same for all of the paragraphs, just depending on what you cover and what order. When you get to the back side and you have your conclusion paragraph, you're pretty much just restating what you've already done in the essay. So this will be absolutely your last step. Your conclusion, restate your topic or theme, you know, just kind of put in here. Your summarized detail 1, 2, 3, that's summarizing what was in each of the paragraphs, and then conclude that idea at the end. I know I'm saying a lot. I know it is confusing. Oh man, I was about to say come in on Wednesday and I'll help you, but I know I'm out this coming Wednesday and getting my next COVID shot. But how can I help you? So please, please, please reach out. As you get into this process and these steps, please make sure that when you have questions, send me an email. If you want to try to video chat, please indicate that and we'll set up a time where we can do that in Teams. I used to have office hours in there, Mondays at 2 o'clock. So if that is an instance that you need some time, check in, send me a message right around then, and we'll do our best to try to get those things figured out. I'm not going to be here next Wednesday in the morning. I do plan to come in the afternoon, but I've got my remote classes, so I can't promise that you'll be able to come in. Okay, I've gotten on a tangent and it's really weird when I'm all by myself on a tangent. So let's think through, what have we covered? I went over how to do the essay. I went over how to do the outline. I also discussed what needs to be completed for the last steps of your interpreting poetic devices. So now it's up to you with the time that is left to be working on this. Do not waste your time. If you need to finish your poetic devices packet first, then I expect you to do that either by doing it completely independently or by asking to borrow some earbuds, watch the videos and go through it. Otherwise, those should be done and everybody else is getting started on the outline, trying to decide which poem it is that you're going to write about and how you're going to organize it, putting those ideas down on the outline. When the outline is done, which is due for you guys on Monday, you are going to take pictures of that and turn it into Teams. You're going to keep the outline. I don't want it because you're going to use that outline then to write your rough draft, turning those into sentences and paragraphs. And whether you write the rough draft on lined paper or if you type it, either way is fine. And then I'll need a copy of the rough draft, which is going to be due next Thursday when I see you. So you have 2 things to complete before I see you next week, the outline and the rough draft. Both of them, I need pictures and they're turned into Teams. If you did a Word document, you should be able to just upload it. Okay. All right, be good for the substitute. I expect a really good report and I hope you get a lot of work done. Remember, reach out. I expect you to have questions. I know this can be overwhelming. Have a great rest of your class. Bye.